Yeah, we're good. Hi, how you doing today? My name is Chewy23. So this is the penultimate video of 2020. The plan next week is to eulogize the year and to reflect on things that I can reflect on publicly. But I didn't want to jump into that eulogy without one last discussion for the year. Although there still is that other project I'm working on, which is still taking up a lot of my time. So it's not like I can go into anything with a lot of great meat, like, say, the other City Skylines video. Sorry. I just want to quickly play with an idea using this bad boy. This is my copy of Euclid's Elements, Euclid being the guy I talked about in the Cthulhu Shape video. As you can see, it's not really a tiny book. Okay, you can talk about this gigantic thing, but you can't talk about City Skylines. What's going on? But I think your impression of this book is tainted by other mathematical texts. This is Thick Boy, I believe is the correct internet term, and he has a lot of content in here, right? I mean, let's just look at the chapter title, shall we? Functions, limits, derivatives, applications of the derivative. Okay, so those two are tied. Integration, applications of integration. Okay, those two are tied. Integration techniques, which is somehow different than integration. 4 different concepts in like the first few chapters of this thing. But in my reading of Euclid, which admittedly isn't that deep, it appears that he does something slightly different. Like, remember in the Cthulhu Shape video when I was talking about Euclid had these mind-breaking ideas? You want to see where they are in this thing? They're right here. This is all of them. The main ideas, the thing that makes Euclidean geometry, right here. That's it. The rest of what Euclid does is basically give definitions. The best example of this is right at the beginning of book 7. In this book, Euclid defines these 22 definitions and then just plays with them. Like in this first proposition, this first thing that he proves, this first piece of new insight that he provides, he just writes some stuff down using the definitions. If we have this idea called numbers, and if we have this idea called a unit, and if we have this idea called coprimes, we can use all these things together in order to create this. Basically, what he does is have a whole bunch of conceits. Let's create this thing that we all say is true, or believe it to be true for this one moment, and then let's just play with it. And I suppose that might seem to be one of the most scientific things ever. Have all these definitions that we know are true, and then from there we can create even more truer, smarter things. But doesn't this have conceit too? Right? Like, there's actually a whole bunch of conceits that are made in here. And by allowing these things to exist, this creates a very powerful story. In fact, there's a lot of stories that have conceits. They're in many ways the whole point of a story. They're what you start from. And I don't mean in world-building stories where magic exists, we just have really fancy terms for it that sound like they're from Latin. Or magic exists, but we don't have any terms for it, therefore we can't actually make it happen. I mean that the stories themselves say things about the world. This one supposes that the American dream is maddening. This one that at times the world can be healed, but it takes a great sacrifice. This one that the past had glory. Are all of these conceits true? I don't know, but these stories wouldn't be what they are if they didn't have them. I do know one thing for sure. What Euclid asked us to concede is wrong, right? That's what the Cthulhu Shape video is about. What Euclid said is wrong. Are any of these wrong? I don't know. But as far as I understand, that's the whole point of English class, no? I mean, I haven't taken it in a long time, but I remember that being a large part of it, right? It's in looking at these stories, try to see what conceits they're asking of us and to explore them and think about them. Euclid's doing the same. And so if we can play around with one and create these conceits for one, why can't we do the same thing with the other? That's it. That's the video. Just a small little morsel I want you guys to play with this week. If you want to talk about some more, please leave some comments down below. I'd love to talk about it. Anyway, that's it for me. Next week, we'll finish up 2020. Peace.